Department of English presents.
So far we have seen what is voice, what is transitive and intransitive verbs, what is active and passive voice, the structure of active and passive voice, and when we can use them. Simple 5 steps which we need to follow. And we have seen the pronoun change. Now we shall continue with the next rule. We need to add a proper helping verb of to be before main verb, that is be form verb. This helping verb is decided based on the tenses. With an example of main verb write, let's look into different helping verb as per the tenses, okay? One by one, which we need to write. So, in simple present tense, in active voice, write or writes. In passive voice, is or am or are written. So, according to the singular subject or plural subject, we have to use the helping verb along with the main verb, okay? In present continuous tense, in active voice, is or am or are writing. In passive voice, is or am or are being written. In present perfect tense, in active voice, have written. In passive voice, have been written. And simple past tense, in active voice, wrote. In passive voice, was or were written according to the subject. And in past continuous, in active voice, was or were writing. In passive voice, was or were being written. In past perfect tense, in active voice, had written. In passive voice, had been written. In simple future tense, in active voice, will write. In passive voice, will be written. In future perfect, will have written. In passive voice, will have been written. Now look at the tabular column. Simple present tense, simple past tense and simple future. In passive voice, the helping verbs are used as the be form verb. In simple present is am or are, and in past tense its past form was or were. Okay, in simple future will be form be as used. So in order to give the same meaning in the passive voice, we have used this helping verb. Okay, and look at present continuous, past continuous. Here is or am or are being written, and in past continuous was or were being written. So being is used to give the same continuous meaning as given in the meaning in active voice. To show the continuous form in passive also, we have used here being written. Okay, and look at the perfect form: present perfect, past perfect and future perfect. Have been written, had been written, will have been written. So this been is used in passive voice in order to show the same perfect form in the passive voice. Okay, so these are the 8 tenses chart for understanding which helping verb to use. Now you must have noticed that we haven't used 4 tenses. What are they? Present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, future continuous and future perfect continuous. So in English grammar, while converting from active to passive, we don't convert sentences of these tenses to passive as it is not correct grammatically. Okay. Now we shall discuss about how to convert from active to passive voice. For simple present tense, active sentences: he writes a letter. Now, to convert it into passive, we will use 5 steps. We already discussed it, isn't it? So, the step 1 is to identify subject, object and main verb in the given sentence. So, here, who is doing the action? He. So, he is subject. And what is the action performs? It is write. So, it is verb. What he writes? He writes a letter. So, letter is object. Now, we identified subject, verb and object. Okay? Now, the second step is swap. We need to swap object to subject and subject to object. So, a letter will come into first place and he will be turned to him. That is pronoun change. And the position last where the object was there. Okay? And third step, we need to convert main verb into third form verb. That is past participle, verb 3. It will be written. And step 4, we need to add helping verb. So, it will be is written. As it is simple present tense, we have to write is written, and a letter is given, so it is in singular. So the subject is singular. We have to use the be form verb is. Okay, so is written. And the step 5 is we need to add by before him. So now the whole sentence is completed, as the sentence in passive voice is a letter is written by him. Okay. Now let's see the example of present continuous tense. In active voice, Javed is making a cake. So step 1 is to identify the subject, object and verb. Here who is performing the action is Javed. So Javed is subject. And what is the action performed? Is making. So it is verb. What is he making? He is making a cake. So it is an object. And second step is to swap the position. So object to subject and subject to object. So here subject Javed and object cake. So step 3, we need to convert main verb to third form verb, that is verb 3. So make will be made. And step 4, we need to add helping verb of to be is being. And step 5, attach the preposition by before the subject. So the passive voice is finally, a cake is being made by Javed. Now let's see an example of present perfect tense. So the active voice sentence is, I have eaten a burger. So to convert into passive voice sentence, identify SVO, the subject verb object. I is subject, have eaten is verb, a burger is object. So swap the position, a burger into object, and me, pronoun change, I will be me. So me has placed. And look at the verb 3 is eaten. And look at helping verb will be has been. Here a burger is singular, so we have to write the perfect form. In perfect form, it is has been. And finally, attach the preposition by before the subject. So the passive voice sentence will be, a burger has been eaten by me. Okay. Now we shall see the example for simple past tense. In active voice sentence, he bought a car. So to convert into passive voice the sentence, you have to identify the subject verb object. So he is subject, bought is verb, and a car is object. So swap the position, a car in the object, and him, pronoun change he is him in the subject, and identify the verb, third form verb is bought is bought, and helping verb was. This is simple past tense, so we have to write singular past tense for a car is was, and attach preposition by before the subject by. Now the passive voice is, a car was bought by him. Okay. Now let's see an example for past continuous tense. The active voice sentence is, Sarah was singing a song. So to convert into passive voice, identify the subject verb object. Sarah is subject, was singing is verb, and a song is object. And swap the position. A song is in the object position and Sarah is in the subject position, and main verb have to change into past participle verb. So here main verb is sing, so it is sung, and helping verb is was being. Here this is past continuous tense, so in order to show the same past continuous tense in the passive voice, we have to write was being and attach the preposition by before the subject. And now the sentence is completed. The completed passive voice is a song was being sung by Sarah. Okay. Now let us see an example for past perfect tense. Active voice sentences: Jay had finished homework. So to convert into passive voice sentence, we need to identify subject verb object. So subject is Jay, had finished is verb, and object is homework. Now swap the position, homework as object and Jay as subject, and identify the verb. Main verb is finished, so the verb 3 is past participle verb is finished, and helping verb should be had been, and finally attach the preposition by. Now the final sentence is homework had been finished by Jay. Okay. Now look at an example for simple future tense. Active voice sentence is she will accept the offer. So here to convert into passive voice, identify the subject verb object. She is subject, will accept is verb, and offer will be object. So swap the position now. The pronoun change will be her. Offer as an object, and for accept the verb 3 is accepted, and the helping verb is will be. Now attach the preposition by in before the subject. The final sentence is the offer will be accepted by her. Okay. Now let us see an example for future perfect. In active voice sentence, I will have charged the battery. So to convert into passive voice, identify the subject verb object. I will be subject, will have charge is verb, the battery is object. So swap the position. I pronoun change will be me, and the battery as object, so me as a subject, and change the main verb into verb 3, that is past participle is charged, and helping verb will be will have been, and attach the by preposition before the subject me. So the final sentence in passive voice is the battery will have been charged by me. Okay. So these are the 8 ways in which you can convert from active voice to passive voice. Okay. So in these cases, if we have to change the voice of sentence that use modal auxiliary verbs, how we do it? Let us see. In the active voice, the verb takes the form of modal auxiliary verb plus present form. We have to write in the passive voice, the verb takes the form of modal auxiliary verb plus be plus past participle verb. Okay, let us discuss with an example. Now look at the modal auxiliary verbs should, must, may or might, can or could. If these modal auxiliary verbs is used in active voice, how shall we convert into passive voice without changing the meaning or changing the tense? So look at the example. I should write a letter in active voice. So to convert into passive voice, we will follow the same simple basic steps as we already done. With that, we have to write the modal auxiliary verb should plus be and then verb 3. Okay. So the subject verb object will be, I will be subject, should write is verb, a letter is object. Swap the position, a letter as object and I pronoun change will be me. And look at the main verb is write. So change into verb 3 is written. And now the modal auxiliary verb should carry the same as should and add be. So attach the preposition by before the subject. Now the final sentence as passive voice, a letter should be written by me. Okay. So instead of using helping verb, we are using modal auxiliary verb plus be along with verb 3. Now look at the next modal auxiliary verb in active voice. I must write a letter. So here I subject must write verb, a letter object, and swap the position, a letter as an object and me is pronoun and write will be written in verb 3 and use the same modal auxiliary verb must plus be before verb 3 written. Now the passive voice is, a letter must be written by me. Okay. So in the same way, may or might. In active voice, I may write a letter. That will be in passive voice, a letter may be written by me. So using modal auxiliary verb might in active voice, I might write a letter. In passive voice, a letter might be written by me. So in the same way, can, modal auxiliary verb used in active voice, I can write a letter. In passive voice, a letter can be written by me. And could, modal auxiliary verb used in active voice, I could write a letter. In passive voice, it will be, a letter could be written by me. Okay. I hope you understand everything. Thank you.